I wanted to tell you about my dental experience. You've seen my little, and me mentioning it a couple of times that I went to the dentist and I got a tooth pulled. I thought I'd give you my little share of what happened. Because if you watch me very long, you know that I try my best to take care of my teeth. It's like a history of my dental care. Now, remember, I'm 80, okay? And when I grew up, we didn't have regular dentist appointments. In fact, of course, Mom and Deb told us to brush our teeth. Never heard of flossing in my life till many years later. When I was about 17, this is the first time I remember going to a dentist. And I had a toothache. It wouldn't go away. And I guess I hadn't had any toothaches before that time, or I probably would have went to the dentist. My mom and dad took me to the dentist, and I was so nervous and scared that I passed out. I fainted in the dentist chair. And then again, when that happened, the dentist wouldn't complete the work. He said he wanted to make sure I was okay, and I needed to go to a doctor to be confirmed that it was okay for him to work on my tooth. I don't know, it might have been a tooth pull at that point. So that's the beginning of my history of dentists. And throughout the years after that, I didn't go unless I had something wrong with me, like a tooth that really had to have it. I didn't ever go for 6-month checkups or yearly checkups or whatever. And history, if you've watched a glimpse of my life, we moved around a lot. So, of course, that meant if I did go to a dentist, it was always a new dentist. And once you get to a dentist and you know them well and you start to relax, that's better. So I remember going to a dentist, and I had my wisdom teeth that was growing into, just like instead of growing up like this, they was growing into the next tooth over. And of course, I've always had my overbite. So, you just something you always live with. And of course, as a younger girl, I was so conscious of that. Now, it was maybe not buck teeth, but close to. Oh, it's close to. Well, anyway, it wasn't straight, and that was just not something we did. And actually, when my kids were growing up, that was another thing we didn't do so much. It was just in case you needed to really get something fixed. Like you couldn't live without it, couldn't live unless you got your tooth taken care of. Well, that time I went to the dentist too, because I had to have these they cut them out. And at that time they didn't put you to sleep. I was still terrified. And over the years, one after another, I would have to change, going to a dentist. As years went by, I always had to change dentists because like my insurance was not good and I'd find a better plan. And so eventually, I've over the years ended up with getting a few pulled and then a lot of crowns. And then along the way, I was able to do a little better with my teeth. And so this one that I'm going to now, I've been going to for 2 or 3 years now, and they're very nice in there. And it's a miracle because from my beginnings of being so afraid and so nervous to being able to relax in a dentist chair is just like a miracle. It's just, I got to tell you, it's a miracle because I couldn't have done that before. And it's the Lord that was with me. So over the time, I've gotten I lost a tooth, and so they put a fake tooth in, and it's a crown and a bridge. And down here, this is the one just happened. I have a crown on the back, which had a root canal. Then I had my fake tooth, and then this one right in front of it. And that is the one that was giving me the trouble a week or so ago. I woke up with a swollen jaw. This side was hurting. I mean, even just put my makeup on, it hurt. And of course, I knew first day or two, I thought, well, maybe I poked myself in there and rinsed with hot, warm, salty water, you know. But then after a couple of days, I thought, no, it's not going away. So I called, and the front tooth of this 3 crown here, bridge here, and then this tooth that it was hooked to for the little fake tooth, they had to pull that tooth. So now that she gave me some options. Okay, now the options. She told me the different ones. So I said, well, let me get the price of each one of these before we go into it. So the first one was try to save this last one that it already had. But remember, it was all hooked together. So she would have to cut that one to leave it freestanding on its own. Get rid of my fake tooth. Pull this and then give me some, I think it was implants. There was 2 or 3 different ones. The first one they quoted me was $12,000, but with my little teeny insurance policy, it would be $5,000. I thought, oh, yeah, okay. So the next one, I didn't quite get what that was. And the third one I went for, and it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know. We'll see. She was able to cut that last, cut that and save my crown here. I know some of you might not be interested in it, but I know others would be. They took the fake tooth off, and then they had to pull this one because it was not worth saving. She couldn't fill it and do it enough to make it where it have some teeth there. So that option was a partial. Now, I remember my Richard used to have a partial on the lower plate, and he ended up for years, he had a tooth here and a tooth here. I know that was a stable, and he could put his partial on that, and it would stabilize it down, and he never complained with that and seemed to do okay with it. So this one, they offered the partial with the 2 teeth in it and hooked to the back one, and of course hooked to the one in front of it. And so I just, you know, I go back for they pulled it, and then they'll have to do the measurements of it and all that. So, oh, by the way, that price was, I don't remember what it would have been without, but with that little insurance policy, it's about $2,000. So let me tell you something. If you haven't taken care of your teeth, it's not too late to start. And over the years, you know, as I realized, and, you know, I flossed my teeth and did this and did that as much as possible to take care of them. And that's where I am. So I don't know that you'll enjoy, or you'll think this is just too much. So I'm doing this as a separate video where you can maybe get some help out of it or not. But if you don't have a policy, there's all kinds. In where I go now, they have their what I had, my little policy of Delta Dental, between $100 and $150 a year. And it was a big savings for me. Now, if you are blessed enough to have a good policy, that's good. And some of them are better. This one, you know, paid for the x-rays and dental cleaning. I think it was twice a year, and several things that includes in that price. So you can shop around, but they are changing this, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. Now, they did tell me they have an in-house policy, and I did understand somewhere down the road that if you paid cash, now when I say cash, I mean dollars. I don't mean a credit card. that they have a pretty good savings that way. So I just thought I'd tell you all of this, and whether you watch it or not, that's okay. I hope I help someone. Take care of your teeth. Only brush and floss the teeth you want to keep in your mouth. Other, leave it alone. You wonder how the people of olden days took care of it. Okay, I'm gone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you could be a help. I hope this could be a help. I remember I watched Vicky at Living in the Moment, but I watched her whole series on getting her teeth pulled and getting getting dentures. I thought it was an interesting series. I had hoped that I'd never have to go to that extent, but many people do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll like, subscribe, share if you know somebody that this would be helpful to. And I pray God blesses you today. Don't forget, Jesus loves you.